What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? Nathan here, one half of your Heel Brothers. And really quick, before we get into episode 17 of the podcast, I just wanted to take a quick moment to let you guys know and invite you over to my other personal podcast, the NL10 podcast. This is something that I started a few years ago, and I have recently taken a break over the last year to try and figure out a good way to redo its scheme and its direction. And we're getting started back over there right now in a brand new channel, the NL10 podcast channel. We had a good time over there with episode 12 of the podcast with just myself, kind of reintroducing myself, if you will. And I'm looking forward to what's going to be happening over there in the future. And hopefully you guys will join me over there on the ride. We all have a good time over here with the Hill Brothers. And obviously this isn't going anywhere at all. But I wanted to formally invite you guys to come over, hang out with me, and let's just have a good time over there at that podcast. The link will be down there in the description, so you guys can go check it out. Thank you for all of you that are heading over there and supporting me. And I just want to say thank you guys for supporting us here at the Hill Brothers. Without further ado, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. Go Heels, and let's get into episode 17. You're listening to the Hill Brothers Podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome into the Hill Brothers Podcast. Alan gave up on hosting duties. It's back to me again. I took a 2-week vacation, and now I'm back on this side of the screen, on the left-hand side. Alan's on the right. Hello, sir. Good to see you tonight. How are you doing?
Hola, amigo. I'm doing fine. Going
You
great.
always look, I look to my left, and you're supposed to look to your, and you always look back to your left. You're just talking off screen over there. You're talking to the Argyle.
This is my left shoulder.
I know. You're supposed to be talking to your right. I'm talking to my left.
But if I look this way, I'm looking at the wall. I'm not looking at you. If I look this way, I'm looking at you.
No, you're not.
On my screen, I am like on my screen, you would be sitting right
Hold
there.
on. I'm going to take a picture of this, and I'm going to send it to you. Go ahead. Do your look. Oh, boy. The people at home see this deal. Here we go. Share to... here we go. Share to Alan. Boy, we're already on the phone, and we didn't get 2 seconds into this podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome into the 17th episode of the Hill Brothers Podcast. My brother is currently looking at himself, talking to the Argyle, and here I am looking back at...
Wait, what? What just...
Did you mirror your screen?
Dude, I'm not sure. I took a picture looking at you, and when the picture took it, now I'm looking the opposite way. I kid you not.
Oh, boy.
This is space magic.
Yeah. Well, hey, you changed over to Samsung, brother. Have at it. Oh, me. We have a good bit to talk about on today's episode of the Hill Brothers Podcast. I recorded, you guys saw just a little short snippet right there at the very beginning. I'm over there doing my own podcast by myself. You guys, if you can, head over there, check it out, have a good time. I kind of explained it a little bit in that front part. But we got some announcements to talk about tonight on this podcast with the both of us. Not only... And we're going to lead off the show with this. I thought about holding it to the very end, but let's kick off everything with it. We are the Hill Brothers. We talk North Carolina. We love North Carolina Tar Heels. We got the blue lights in the back. There's pictures everywhere. We got the hats. We got the shirts. We got the underwear. We've got all the good stuff. North Carolina. We love our North Carolina Tar Heels. We're going to continue to do this each and every week. But also, we have been consistently talking back and forth. The idea come up. Alan, as a matter of fact, your wife brought it up originally, I believe.
Yeah.
And
wifey
I had kind of been thinking about doing something very similar to this for a long time, just never done it. And when the wife mentioned it, you got excited about it, which then got my wheels turning. And now we too are going to have a different and a brand new podcast, a completely different channel as well as this one. So I want to introduce all of you to Hill Brothers Wrestling. Go ahead, do your deal. Go ahead, do your deal. Go. I know what you're gonna go do. I'm gonna put this thing at go. Go do it. Uh, Hill Brothers Wrestling. I've been a wrestling fan for a very long time. Alan is just kind of getting into the game. More recently, he was a fan years and years ago. Back 2003, 2002, and I've always enjoyed the wrestling business ever since I was a kid. I have loved it. I've kept up with it just about my entire life, ever since the age of 7, going on 8, and now that we're going to be going over there. We're going to be having fun with the wrestling. So if you guys are wrestling fans, our layout is going to look very similar, but different. Hi, this is the first time we've done this before. Hi, dude. You like the new
What's
layout?
up,
There's
buddy?
your belt. There's your shiny.
Undisputed WWE champion.
That thing, that main plate is pretty big, all things considered. Like, I didn't realize the main plate was as big as it was.
As big as my face. I can hide my head behind it, bro.
Dude, holy cow. So yeah, starting Saturday morning.
Before or after the ruck?
Well, Saturday morning we'll have to do the ruck on Saturday evening because I gotta be I gotta be in Rock Hill by 8. But starting Saturday morning, you guys can head over to the Hill Brothers Wrestling YouTube channel. It will be down in the description below, and you guys can come out there, hang out with us. And if you're wrestling fans, we want to see you, want to talk to you, we want to get your opinions. We're going to be reviewing the WWE programs, Raw, SmackDown. I don't think we're going to do NXT. I'm not an NXT guy. We'll see. We'll see what happens. The PLEs or the pay-per-views, as I like to call them, because I'm an old head when it comes to that. We're going to be talking about all that stuff, and we're going to be having a good time. So NL10 podcast, be down there in the description. Hill Brothers Wrestling, be down in the description. And always, your North Carolina Tar Heel Hill Brothers are right here still as well. We're branching out. The tree is setting some roots down, and we're going all over the place. How do you feel about that, sir? We're both taking a sip of our. I'll postpone my sip until you finish. Okay.
As my 1-year-old likes to do every time he takes a sip.
It's compliments to the chef or the.
Yeah. The Hill Brothers just got a lot busier. Nathan got a lot busier.
So much more busy.
I think I just won't wear this the entire. Can I wear this the entire podcast?
I don't. You're 30 some odd year old man. I think you can do whatever the heck you want to do at your own house, in your own camera and your own equipment and your own belt. So have at it, kid.
Well, North Carolina did just beat Duke in the first game of the series in baseball, so undisputed champion so far.
Big time win, because Duke Athletics is owning North Carolina Athletics, it would seem. It is a very, very, very sad, very sad. You get 3-0'd in college basketball on the men's side, 2-1 by the women, and you got beat in football, which is great. And now baseball's rolling around, so hopefully baseball will just do us all a favor and just sweep the series out. We ain't got to worry about it, and hopefully somebody beats Cooper Flag and those Duke Blue Devils over there. But interesting time over here for North Carolina, dude. We're all
that talk makes you want to clean up.
What?
All that talk of Duke owning North Carolina makes me want to clean up.
That's good. I think you thought a little too hard on that one, but
no, it just came to me, but you asked twice, so
you're having a good time with your belt, aren't you?
Yep, I'm enjoying this.
Hey, man, have at it, brother. It's your first belt, man. Congratulations, dude.
Thanks.
But hey, we are in a pretty interesting spot right now with North Carolina Athletics. The transfer portal is wide open. North Carolina has swung and missed on 2 players already, and hoping they have collected one in Jonathan Powell. We'll talk about him right here in just a second. But I think tomorrow is going to be a big day for North Carolina, or today, as you guys are seeing it on Friday, because North Carolina hosted the 7-foot center from Arizona today at North Carolina in Chapel Hill, and all people think in the camp believe that this guy's going to commit to North Carolina. I hope so. McNeely, the Virginia guard, the one that's a sharpshooter, went to Louisville and San Diego State. Actually, I don't think he has he committed yet. I don't think he committed yet to where he's.
McNeely?
Yeah, well, McNeely did. He did earlier to
Yeah,
Louisville, but the San
Louisville.
Diego State guard did. I think he had like a prediction to Wisconsin. I don't think he's actually committed yet. So I guess technically they could get him, but more than likely not on that one. But Alan, what's your thoughts right now on Hubert Davis in this transfer portal cycle? Considering, I think all of us can kind of think that if Hubert Davis's career kind of rides on what happens right here over the next couple of weeks and everything.
Yeah, his career. Well, his career is not going to ride on what happens in the next couple of weeks. Over the next couple of months, yeah. Well, not really the next couple of months, but next season. He's coaching for his basketball career at North Carolina next season. This will be the most pressure filled season of college basketball that North Carolina's had in quite some time.
Right, right. It even felt like in Roy's last years, when we didn't know it was his last years, the pressure wasn't on like it is now for Hubert Davis. I mean, you won in 17 and you had a couple of really good teams. Unfortunately, the flu got one of them. And you did have a couple of bad years. And yeah, North Carolina fans were upset at that, but it wasn't like there was pressure like, oh my God, we got to go win a national championship, or, you make the tournament, be relevant and be consistent within the ACC. Like we find ourselves in this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if Duke wins the championship, then
Tied again.
the clock instantly starts ticking
Mm-hmm.
for UNC.
Yeah, if Duke wins the national championship, which I think they're going to.
They got a
I
good
think
chance, man.
they are good. You said this, I think it was, I don't know if this was privately or maybe over the airwaves. You said that this Duke team is very similar to that of North Carolina's 2009 team, where they were just going to beat everybody. And Duke is proving that. They took an Alabama team that had just the game before lit up set records for most amount of threes, nailed down over 100 points. Alabama had been a good squad. It's been North Carolina's kryptonite over the last couple of years, and they held a consistent 11 to 12 point lead on them just about the entire game. And Carolina, or not Carolina, but Duke is they're rolling. They play the right way. They play together. They play with pace. They're not being selfish about it. And they're playing with all the moxie in the world right now. And if I'm a Duke Blue Devil fan, I am extremely excited for the next couple of games here. I think I lost Alan. I think his camera froze up, but we'll keep going here.
My camera, my computer is sitting here telling me I need to restart my computer in order for my. There we go. I
There you
just
go.
circumvented it. I just unplugged it and plugged it back in. It wants me to reset it because the computer is trying to install new driver software for my webcam.
Oh, what kind of webcam do
So
you have?
that one in the green box that you gave me.
The C920?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, your picture looks a
Yeah,
lot better than I expected.
it wants some kind of update. But I just unplugged it and plugged it back in once it tried to shut my computer down.
Shoot, I didn't know that still. Anyway, but yeah, so they did pick up a guard 6'6"
Yeah, this is heavy. I'm putting it
freshman
down now.
after out of West Virginia. You know, this guy was cussing North Carolina a couple of weeks ago. Now he is a Tar Heel, and 6'6" guard Jonathan Powell out of West Virginia. Let me make sure I pull up his right.
Yeah, if you can't beat them, join them, baby. If you can't beat them, join them.
And considering the stats this guy put up in his freshman year, now had 8.3 points per game, 3.1 rebounds per game, hit 64 3-pointers last year, which led all freshmen in the Big 12. This guy played in some pretty nice games. I just want to quickly go through West Virginia's schedule last year. And if there is a key game, we're going to look at the key games that they played against good talent and see how Mr. Jonathan Powell played. Let's just see, because I don't know too much about this kid. He looks like he could be potentially a guy that could come in. He looks to be a spot up 3-point shooter, or sorry, not spot up, but a catch and shoot 3-point shooter. He's a guy that on film looks like he can find holes to get open and get the shot off, and got a quick release, which is really good as well. So, you know, some of these driving kicks, you know, any kick outs from the low post, especially if we're able to get this big guy out of Arizona, that could really help North Carolina. Don't know if he's coming in to be a starter right away, but you know, we will see. You know, he was a freshman this past season. We'll see how he ends up with North Carolina. Don't know exactly how he was used at West Virginia. I don't know West Virginia enough to know that. But let's look at one of their big time games. They played Gonzaga early in the season. They won it. This was when Gonzaga was number 3 in the country. This was the Battle for Atlantis down there, and West Virginia won 86-78 in overtime. In that game, did Sir Jonathan Powell have some? He did have some minutes and didn't score anything. So there's that. That's his first. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games in.
Well, that's not what you want, is it?
Not what you want there. So let's see how that's the beginning of the season. Let's see how he matured. So against the reigning ACC champions, he went 1 of 2 from the field. That one was a 3-pointer. He played 29 minutes in that game, came off the bench, and Arizona, they won against Arizona, a team that we saw just a little bit ago, which, by the way, congratulations to Caleb Love, man. I felt so bad for him. That man went out there and put on a show. He did not go down easy at all.
No, he didn't.
And boy, if they could have gotten that win, that would have been off the chain. They played.
I'm trying to find a picture to send to you so we can have something to talk about.
Okay. They beat West Virginia beat Kansas in Allen Fieldhouse by 62-61. Jonathan Powell scored in 32 minutes. He went 4 of 9 from the field, 3 of 8 from the 3-point line, scored 11 points, had 4 rebounds that game. That's a good one. That's a good game. I'm curious to see how he matured throughout this season. They played Arizona again. They got dumpstered by 19. And Powell scored 8 points. Off 3 of 8, 1 of 4 from the 3-point line. And trying to look at all that. Houston. So this guy's played in some big time games.
Yeah.
He's played in some big time games. Knocked down a couple of 3-pointers against Houston. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we could keep on going with this. BYU, who ended up being pretty good. 11 points, 3 of 6 from the 3-point line. So, you know, he's got some work to do, which was why I don't believe he'll come in and be a starter. I think he'll come off and potentially have the chance of being a good piece. Hubert Davis is not in a position where he can wait around for somebody for 3 years. He
No.
is in we got to get this team rocking and rolling next year. We have to. And you're really hoping and praying that Seth doesn't leave. Drake and Ian are wild cards in this whole deal because Drake put up a really good year this year. Ian had flashes. We know Ian, and I know Ian. I don't know about Drake, but we know Ian is definitely looking at the draft and getting statistics and probabilities of where his draft stock may be, his projection. What are we looking at? So I'll be curious to see what happens there. Van Allen Lubin has announced that he's coming back next year. We have lost Elliot Cadeau is now a Michigan Wolverine. Any thoughts on that? From Jumpman to Jumpman.
Sounds to me like he just likes Jordans.
It's kind of funny. That's exactly where Caleb Love went. Remember that?
Until he didn't. Then he went to Arizona. So maybe he's going to Arizona. Who knows?
And kind of funny you mentioned that because Elliott was linked to Arizona in the portal in the couple of days that he was in the portal. He was linked to Arizona, but Caleb went to Michigan. Go ahead.
Maybe his flight just stopped in Michigan, and now he's waiting on a layover to Arizona.
I wonder if he had to stay overnight in an airport too. But
dude, this picture was all over Twitter. Now I can't find it.
What's the picture? Describe it for us.
A high-end tight end standing on a UNC shirt.
Andre Harrison, I saw it.
You saw it? Yeah.
Yeah, that was his April Fool's deal. Yeah. I'll be excited to see how he does. Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of clown move behavior.
Oh, 100%. Because, what's the point? I don't know what the point is. You better hope you can get on the field at Oregon.
Oh, he'll get on the field, bro.
Dude, Oregon recruits at a high clip. Good luck at that. He'll get on the basketball court, that's for sure, because their basketball team is dog water. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah. I thought that was absolutely. That's just stupid. He was wanting some attention there. Kind of reminds me of dadgum. Who's that? What's that other kid? Jesus. The kid that flipped from North Carolina to NC State in football last year.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. He came on.
I see.
He came on Inside Carolina, announced his commitment to the family, and like 2 weeks later, he decommitted from UNC and committed to North Carolina State.
Oh yeah, it put us over big time. Like, oh man, North Carolina, they're building something over there. All this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Gone. Which, by the way, Ted Monachino got hired, I think, by Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers. He's going to be over there on the defensive line, I believe it was. Yeah. Looking forward to seeing what he can do. I like Ted Monachino personally. I did, and I'll be curious to see how he does over there. No Jeff Collins hire. That hasn't happened.
Do you want a surprise emoji or
something, man? I think that's hilarious. But yeah, dude. So Jalen hasn't landed anywhere.
Jalen
Washington. And honestly, I don't know who all would be interested in him.
I don't know, buddy.
Because he's been here
a hard
for
sale.
3 seasons?
3 seasons. Well, and one he spent pretty much on the bench.
Right.
Because he was still recovering from a botched surgery.
Right. Yep, that is right. because he came out of high school with, what was it? Was that an ACL tear? I can't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah, ACL. He tore his ACL in freshman year, sophomore year in high school.
Yeah. I like Jalen Washington. He has potential to be something, but I, as just an outsider watching, do you remember a couple of years ago when Ben Simmons was in the NBA, and then all of a sudden it just seemed like he just got he passed up the dunk against the Atlanta Hawks, and I think it was the semifinals to go to the conference finals, and they ended up losing. And it's like Ben Simmons, who was a guy that could control the paint, get in the mid range a little bit. He could do that. Just seemingly just forgot how to play ball, and like a mental block was there. I feel like for Jalen, there's a little bit of a mental block with him in becoming the player that he could be, and I don't know, especially given the time that he has left, 1, maybe 2 years left,
Yeah.
if that can be fixed for him to be productive at whatever, university he ultimately lands. And honestly, I think if and I hope I'm wrong, because I like Jalen a lot. Jalen is a cool dude. That's a big boy too. I ran into him and Seth Trimble walking down Franklin Street a random day I went up there to go find some filming locations. And he's a big dude. He is a big, tall, lanky brother. I love him. He's awesome. Good dude. But I don't know where he would land. And honestly, I think if he's going to land somewhere, he's probably going to land in like the group of 5. I just kind of have a feeling it would be a group of 5 or a lower power 5, if you will. And I hope he gets some time. I hope he's able to fix it. And I would love to be proved wrong, man. I like Jalen, and I really wish it would have worked out here at Carolina, but I can understand why it's not. Hopefully, we can just get that guy replaced and get him and get some guys in. But the guard situation is honestly just about as in dire need as the center position. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have a point guard, but man, you gotta have a big man, which brings you back to the guy from Arizona. I mean, they're really going all in on this guy. It looks like this
they're
guy's
putting all their
either.
chips on the table.
It's like it's either this guy or no guy again, and that's kind of scary.
Yeah, and you know who else just hit the portal?
Who that?
A guy that North Carolina tried to go after last year. That being Bradshaw.
Bradshaw.
The center that was at Kentucky ended up going to Ohio State. It was him, Omiori, that went to Alabama, and God bless, who was the other kid? The center. But Bradshaw was a big one. Dadgum, I can't remember Bradshaw's first name, but
Yeah, I know who you're talking about now.
yeah. So seeing him back in the portal, there is another option for Carolina, given they need it. Hopefully. I don't know if Bradshaw's got suitors. He went to Ohio State, and that just it did not work out at all. It was a kind of saddening that the way Ohio State turned out, which Ohio State hasn't been the best basketball in quite some time now. But maybe here pretty soon. I was trying to find the name of the Arizona guy. I can't. I for always forget.
Henry. You talking about Henry?
Yeah, Henry. What's his last name?
Vassar.
Yeah, Visar. That's what. He's an interesting fella.
Red
Big
shirt
guy.
season, 7 foot, showed averaging close to 10 points, 5 rebounds, 21 minutes. Very mobile. Finished at a clip of about 76% at the rim. Strong roll, man. Goes after the ball. Good instincts on defense. And is improving on his pick and pop game.
Boom. There you go.
Caleb Love, make it happen.
Yeah, dude. And honestly, I think that helps a whole heck of a lot, to be honest with you. To have a guy in him that knows the program, knows the guys on the inside, can give you that little bit of assistance. Be like, hey, they need a guy over there, and it helps. North Carolina needs a guy anyway, and I don't think he's going to be
Carolina
short of
does need a
suitors.
guy. No, he's
But
not going to be short of suitors. But I mean,
because that would be what, him and James Brown and Vin Allen Lubin if Henry comes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he's got planned, but I mean, you can have a footer at the 5 and James Brown at the 4. Probably not.
Yeah, you probably want Caleb Wilson at the 4.
No, he's too thin.
Well, let him bulk up. He'll be all right. Hey,
That's
KD's too thin, but
that's not going to happen.
KD's the Slim Reaper.
Honestly, I don't know what position Caleb Wilson plays.
I think he's a 4. I think he's a stretch 4. More of a, kind of like a KD type player. From the little bit of film that I watched, he kind of reminds me of KD. I don't think he has the ball handling quite like KD does, because KD can handle the ball like a daggum guard, which is ridiculous, and I love it to death. But this basketball roster, it's in shambles to a degree.
I missed the McDonald's All-American game. I wonder how he did.
Yeah. I'll be curious to see exactly who Carolina brings in. I will say, I feel like they've been very, what's the word I'm looking for? Patient. They really haven't been going after anybody aggressively outside of Henry. Henry's been the guy they were extremely aggressive with. Like Jonathan Powell, they just had a Zoom call with him. That's all they did.
Yeah.
Zoom call, hey, come over, and boom, it worked. I'm honestly surprised that happened in today's day and age, because as we know, not everybody is excited about the bell, and the storm walls, and we're going to the highest bidder, and North Carolina typically hasn't been the highest bidder. We'll see if they spend a little bit more money, especially with revenue sharing coming in this year. But Carolina is in a position where they need, and Hubert and now Jim Tanner as well, need to get aggressive. North Carolina really needs to get aggressive right now, and that is something that they haven't done. And I'm looking forward to seeing if they can get on track with this thing over the next, like you said, couple of months here. Really, not even that long, because once the Final Four ends and the champion is crowned, it's going to go by so fast in this portal window.
Yeah, it really is.
And then maybe you can, like Vin Allen Lubin was a late bloomer for North Carolina last year. The guy came in late.
He was.
So that's my take on it. What about you? You've been searching through something for like the last 15 minutes. I've been sitting here watching you.
Yeah, looking up the transfer portal news, see what I can read and share about that without giving access behind a paywall. And
Well, that's as far as we know so far publicly. unless
Well,
there's
there's a
people
lot
behind the
behind the
scenes.
paywall that I'm not at liberty to say.
All right. So what's public that you can say?
Nothing. What I told you. No.
Any extra thoughts? Anything? You got anything for me?
Seems like the official visit for Henry Vassir went well today.
Yeah. I think
Dead
tomorrow will
period.
be
Dead period starts tomorrow in a couple hours, actually.
I think tomorrow to be a commit or no commit
I don't.
from Henry.
Well, I think you can get a commitment, but the universities are no longer allowed to have players or on campus or any of that good stuff.
Yeah, no visits. Visits are done.
Yeah. Until I'm not sure when.
Yeah, I don't know if they're waiting till like maybe after the championship games and everything, everybody can get back and get situated, and then
Well,
they'll
yeah, after
reopen it
your
again
team's
or
out,
what.
I think you got 14 days for some amount of days. You got a certain amount of days to declare for the transfer portal after your team is out. Just like with football.
Right, right. And I'd be curious to see Ian Jackson and Drake Powell. Those are the two guys I'm keeping my eye on. I'm keeping my eye on them
Yeah.
because those are the two guys that could go to the NBA, try that out. I still think Drake has a better chance of it right now than Ian getting drafted. I'm talking about and getting drafted in a meaningful spot. Put you that way. Ian's a
Yeah.
guy that I'm sure would get drafted this year,
Yeah.
but I think he would be a second round guy.
Yeah, I think they definitely both get drafted. I just don't think if they do get drafted, that they're going to see meaningful PT in the
Right. I
league.
think they would be G League guys
Yeah,
for
and that's
a
not.
year.
I don't think that's what they want. To be
Mm-mm.
honest.
And think about it in today's day and age, if you don't want to go to the G League and you're a stud
You can
or
make money in
you're a
college.
quality player, money in college, and a lot of times, I think I forgot what the base salary for a G League player is. Somewhere in the hundreds of thousands. It's not even in the millions. You could easily just come right back to school, up that draft stock.
Yeah.
Yes, you do run the risk of getting hurt. That is true. That is 100% true. But you run that same risk in the G League. You're, under contract for maybe a year or two.
Hmm.
Um, and they can dispose of you a little bit easier over there. So
Yeah, they can.
if I'm them, unless they're hearing some amazing news that I don't, believe in right now currently, I think they'll be back. My money is on them being back. Now they could declare tomorrow, but my money is
They
on them.
could,
They'll be back, and you think about it with
but I
Caleb
haven't.
Wilson coming in and
I haven't
and
heard anything.
Isaiah and Derek and them coming in. You bring back Seth. You bring back Ian and Drake. You get in this 7-foot guy. All of a sudden, North Carolina is looking a little more formidable. Now they've got some pieces they still need to fill in. It's good to have Vin Allen Lewin back. It's good to have James Brown. Cade Tyson is a player that needs to work really hard in this offseason, and I believe that he'll do it. Considering this is his last shot at it, if he doesn't hit the portal, which I figured he would have done by now, if he was going to, you need to find another forward, I believe, and definitely somebody at the guard position. I figure that they'll probably move Seth to the 1, and let him run point. Be kind of curious to see how he does there. I feel like he could do a decent job. Maybe we'll see how he does, but yeah, I'm very curious at that. What do you think about Seth at the 1?
I'm. I think I think that's something that he was wanting last year when he entered the portal, but then ultimately decided to come back.
So if you're him, you're definitely wanting to come back right now.
You know, I don't know. I mean, we don't know what a Seth Trimble point guard looks like.
Mm.
Because most of his game is in transition.
Yeah,
He's
that dude. Whew.
He's the guy catching the ball on the wing and streaking. Just running it straight downhill to the cup, and getting a foul, dunking on somebody, or scoring a basket.
Absolutely.
Does that change? I mean, does that change with him being the primary ball handler? I don't know. I don't know what a North Carolina led Seth Trimble team looks like.
I do think with him at point, I do think that he could help Carolina get down the court in some of the North Carolina's best moments this year was when they were in transition. A lot of times that was with Seth Trimble running, with the ball or running beside the ball. I think him with the ball, he would do wonders for North Carolina, and I think that would help them. You could still be a fast team, which I do believe Hubert wants to continue to be a fast team. And I'm really hoping they figure out this offensive sets deal. Like they standing around, dribble, dribble, dribble. Oh dear God, I'm really hoping. And honestly, I mentioned it last week or 2 weeks ago, I believe it was. North Carolina has done the best with a dog at point guard. Seth Trimble's that guy. He's a guy. He calls out North Carolina all the time in the post games, in the press conferences. He's always calling out like, "Hey, we don't know what the heck we're doing. We're nobody's getting the sets. Nobody's doing anything. We're just kind of standing around." And I think with that, him with the ball in his hands, I think he may, have something to say about that. That maybe a RJ wouldn't be very vocal about, or a Elliott wouldn't be as vocal about. And I got faith in the kid. I think he'd be cool. I think he'd be good.
I mean, I'm not going to say I would disagree with it, but you just don't know. I mean, he's not lightning quick. He's not lightning quick like a Ty Lawson. He is not a scorer like a Joel Berry, Marcus Page. He's not a distributor like Kendall Marshall. So where does
Those are some great players you just mentioned.
Yeah, but I mean that's he's not a Raymond Felton. I mean you think about it. He's not a Stillman White.
I still think he can score, because there was times he was scoring 20.
He's not a
almost
Kobe White.
No. But he could score. He can definitely score. He dished some passes out this year, and this is him at just sample size at shooting guard. I'd be willing, give him an offseason, let him have the reins at the start, because I think he'll be starting PG.
I mean,
Personally,
don't get me wrong. I'm not discounting. Holy cow! I've had a whole cup of caffeine and I cannot stop yawning. Yeah, no, don't get that wrong. I'm not discounting his ability to do the job effectively at all. I'm just saying, out of the traits that make a point guard, the time spent at UNC, he hasn't necessarily displayed those talents consistently throughout a season. Any one of them. Shooting, passing. Agility and quickness.
Agility and quickness?
Okay, quickness. He's
agility? Quickness?
Agility and bounce is two different
Have
things.
you saw that little fro just getting down the court? Now, don't get me wrong. He's not running Olympic speed times. Jesus Christ, no. But Holy cow, that boy can move. And he can yam on you.
No, he can definitely jump out of the gym.
Yeah, and come down with grace. It's weird. He can get up there, get weird, and just come down like a wee little cloud, just floating on down. Like, all right, whatever, just normal thing. Um, yeah, I'm unless they go out and get a point guard, which they have definitely been looking at the guards. They want the McNeely kid. They want the San Diego State kid. Um, don't know. I think there was another guy that they looked at. I think it was the guard from Georgia Tech.
Nate George.
Yeah, Nate George. There you go. I think
The
they
guy
looked
called
him.
the fluffy hair kid 2 years ago.
Yeah. Old fluffy
Hi
hair.
guys. Hey, fluffy hair.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Some
You
people
got you
took
got grief
exception.
for that too.
Yeah, people took exception to that, bro.
Oh, dude, yeah. People get pissed off about the randomest things. It's okay.
Hey, fluffy
They'll
hair could be in. You want to know something outside of piss people off? Fluffy hair
mm,
could be in powder blue next season.
yeah. Yeah, he could. There's your next Kobe White. That hair flying
Yeah,
everywhere. North
Kobe
Carolina's
White was
had some
elite.
awesome hairdos with point guards over the last few years, man.
Kobe White is elite.
Kobe White has really went into the NBA, and he is like at first he was not that great, but he has really
He's just.
developed.
I mean, nobody expected him to be a one and done point guard.
Yeah.
Nobody. What he did his freshman year in UNC just skyrocketed. He was
Mm-hmm.
not a projected first round pick when he walked on the campus. But
The
he walked
first
on the campus, and boy, let me tell you.
Yeah, he did his thing. He balled out, man, and he has really developed with the Chicago Bulls. And dude, he is having himself a great season,
Mm-hmm.
and is looking like a true a number one point guard option over there. I know they got Lonzo Ball, who does good with passing and things of that nature. Has had a lot of injury issues, and I think he finally fixed that broken jumper of his. But
LaMelo Ball
Kobe
has a
White.
lot of entries for the Hornets.
Yeah, he does. He's having to do everything though. That's the problem. He's just
Yeah.
having to go do everything. I will say Brandon Miller has been coming along quite well over there for them. So I mean they've
Yeah,
got a
he's a
little
killer.
duo. Oh dear God.
Well, he's killing it over there.
Just stop. Just stop. Go ahead and stop. Not even.
That's,
Anyway,
he's really got that killer instinct.
yeah. Um something to that effect. Any more you want to throw out there?
That's all I got right now.
Okay. Um They just drafted that one kid. I can't remember the heck it was like that kid out of France or something like that.
They got old what's his face that Caleb Love hit that three in his face from Duke.
Mark Williams. The Lakers
Yeah.
tried to go get him.
Yeah.
And Mark has actually done a good job of, developing over there as well. Miles Bridges, another one. Is doing pretty good over there for him. But man, North Carolina Athletics is in just a weird spot. It's weird,
Yeah.
and it's the same conversations over and over and over again. No matter how much you try and spill it, it's just the same thing over and over again.
There's
And
not a lot of information.
there's not a lot of information. There's not a lot going on, and everybody. I think that's the thing that, from what I'm seeing on Twitter, Carolina fans, just like myself, are like, kind of poking the stick at the thing. Like, hey, what we gonna do something?
Move.
Yeah.
Move.
And I was honestly very surprised that we got the one commitment that we did. I'm glad to see, and he's a kid that could very well, develop over here at North Carolina, become some type of. You're really hoping that he's some type of role piece, or a role player this year. Some type of
Yeah, I mean,
decent
right
role
now
player
he's
this
either
year, a
got
guy
to
you
be
can
your
bring off the
starting
bench.
guard, point guard, or he's got to be your backup point guard.
Yeah.
He's got to be your backup point guard. Or he's got to be your backup point guard. Or he's got to be your backup point guard. Or he's got to be your backup point guard. Or he's got to be your backup point guard.
He's a shooting guard.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well,
he doesn't handle the
traverse.
ball. Yeah, he's not a ball handler. He only shot 24, 25 free throws this year.
Oh. What was you saying about pitcher?
Huh?
Didn't you say something about a starting pitcher?
No.
Oh,
You're heavily distracted tonight, aren't you?
No, I could have swore you said something about a starting pitcher right before I said he was going to be the point guard.
No, like a piece off the bench.
I guess I just misheard you. Like I was saying something, and you was looking down. And you said something about. It sounded like you said something about pitcher. I don't know. It's baseball season.
That it is, and North Carolina's doing. I feel like they're kind of starting to find themselves offensively. You know, they're getting through those lulls, and now they're starting to put together some stuff right here at midseason. And
dude, 7-6 in the league.
Like baseball season's going by fast.
It's about halfway.
Fast. And it feels like it just started yesterday, dude. It's been ridiculous, but it's good to see. Sorry, I got a text from somebody, but it's good to see that Carolina's starting to find themselves and get it going. Hopefully they can continue. They got a great series, got a great win tonight. You know, that's one out of 3. You know, you're in Chapel Hill, and Duke's a good baseball team. They're the reigning ACC champions right now, which really burns my gears. But they're a good ball club. They have been. The ACC's been pretty good this year. Georgia Tech's now in the top 25. Louisville's up there. Stanford got into the top 25. I don't know if they're still there or not, but North Carolina, Clemson, Virginia, Florida State is looking really good. They are looking pretty doggone. Wake Forest, another one. And I think that's all. Yeah, pretty sure that's it out of everybody. So that's right. NC State's not in the top 25.
Yeah, North Carolina needs a weekend sweep in the ACC to
bump them back up.
bolster that win percentage in the league.
Yeah, and that'll bump them back up into the further up into the top 25 too, because they're now at what
19.
I think they're 19. Is that the new? Is that the new one? The new one was 19.
I think. Hold on, I'll look at it. I'm pretty sure that's what was beside their name this afternoon. Yeah, 19.
Okay. Well, they had fallen all the way down to 24, and now they're back at 19. Team started off 6th in the country this year. Had the offensive struggles. Slowly starting to figure it out. Pitched a no-hitter between who was the 3 pitchers? Was it Knapp?
No, that was against
Gardner Webb.
I think it was. What was that, Tuesday?
Yeah.
So that would have been
2 days ago.
Boaz. I can't pull up the stats, but it was 11-1. I'm not really sure how Gardner Webb scored 1 with a no hitter.
I think it was a no hitter between those 3 pitchers.
Well, no, it was a no hitter game. That was 7 innings, so I didn't watch it. So
they
didn't have a single hit recorded, but scored a run. Baseball.
Scott Forbes was feeling generous.
Could have been a couple walks and a wild pitch, or
gotta be something. That's nuts. I wonder who did that. But yeah, Carolina baseball is starting to look like they're getting their footing. Ever since that South Carolina game, they come out and it was a high scoring game. What ended up being 13-8, something like that. I believe it
Yeah, I
was.
think South Carolina had used 12 pitchers. North Carolina used 1, 2. Let's see, Paget, McDuffie, Mateus, Lynch. I know they threw more than 4.
But both teams, both Carolinas had been struggling offensively coming into that game.
Yeah.
They found their offense. It seemed like Carolina's been rolling ever since. They got they won 2-1, 2-1 series win against Miami at home.
Yeah, they had a chance to sweep and lost it in the 9th inning, and North Carolina hasn't swept Miami since the 90s. But North Carolina also hasn't won a series against Miami. Has lost 3 straight series to Miami up until last weekend.
There you go. And
So,
then you had the Gardner Webb game, which was good. That's at 11-1. Then you got tonight. And we'll see how tomorrow and Saturday goes for North Carolina. I think they'll come out of the series 2-1 at least. They got the win tonight, hard fought, 4-3, and I think Duke might get you tomorrow, but I think it'll be North Carolina to win. I think Carolina wins tonight. Duke will probably win tomorrow, and then Carolina will finish it up again on Saturday. That's my prediction.
North Carolina. I think North Carolina had some defensive blunders that led to one run. Then that 9th inning, the bases got loaded, and a wild pitch. Yeah, but they won.
That they did.
So,
and
come out tomorrow. Jason DeCaro will be on the mound. He's starting to pitch better. Get him some run support. I mean, this Duke team's not ranked. It's about in the same. It's exactly the same in the same spot North Carolina is in the ACC. So, I think I'm hoping North Carolina can win. Not just because it's Duke, but they need to get a 3-win, a sweep of a series sweep.
Right. Yeah, that would be really good for
I
them.
don't think they've
That
had
would
one
be
since Texas Tech. So, and that was the opening series. Well, they did sweep ECU. Forgot about that.
And that's good because Carolina hadn't done that in quite some time, to say the least. So that was good to get that one as well. And ECU not as good of a team this year that they have been in recent years. But still rivalry. You know how rivalry games go. You get your you get those back and forth games, and even when the teams aren't that good, it just seems like a rivalry just kind of neutralizes, the field or court or whatever sport that you're playing. It just seems to kind of neutralize all that stuff. And both teams play, relatively at just about the same exact level, unless one team is just glaringly better than the other. And I thought we saw some of that. But, man, I think we're going to get out of here for tonight. This has been like I said, North Carolina's just in a weird spot. It's kind of the same conversations all the time.
It's the slow season.
Real.
I mean,
it is the slow.
Well, it's the slow season now because basketball is out of the tournament
early.
And, there's no really spring game to talk about. There's not a lot of news coming out of the spring practices, so you don't really speak on that because you don't know. So really, all you got is baseball. So
yeah, and thankfully,
somehow we stretched this thing out into an hour.
Yeah, honestly, when I looked up at the clock and it said 36 minutes, I said, Jesus Christ, we're not making it anywhere close to an hour. But somehow, some way, we slowly spoke our way.
We slowed it down.
Yeah. So hopefully your coffee lasted a whole lot longer than mine. These 2 deals all the time. Empty.
Empty. They're big jug.
Always. I always finish those coffees out like before the 15-minute mark, all the time. Never fails.
Yeah.
Never fails to do. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. Be sure and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Be sure and go down to the description. Check out the Hill Brothers Wrestling YouTube page. If you are a wrestling fan, be sure and come over there and hang out with me at NFZone Podcast, and let's have us a good time over there as well. Check us out on Twitter. Bang. Check us out on Instagram. Check us out on Facebook. Do all of those things. Alan, any last words before you want to get out of here?
Shower of freedom, people. KBARSoapco.com.
Yes, we didn't do that
15
tonight.
Yeah. I dropped the hint, but you did not pick it up.
What hint did you drop?
When you was talking about, Duke owning us in pretty much every spot, I was like, yeah, I need to wash all that off now.
I never heard you say that.
And
that was a horrible trend. We got to work on that. Get in front of the mirror and start working on your transitions.
It's all right. My transition is about as good as North Carolina's transition game this year.
You need to hit the portal. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. And as always,
go Heels.